So, good morning everyone, and welcome to this second session with Extreme, where we're looking and doing a bit of a deeper dive into everything, as I say, that's Extreme in the world of Extreme. Today, I'm very pleased to say we have Jim Hughes, who's Regional Sales Manager, particularly focused on the Brocade side of obviously newly acquired from Extreme. And we're going to be posing some questions to Jim today. I do have a couple of questions, I'm pleased to say, already from our audience. So firstly, thank you for those contributions. And again, welcome to those partners, resellers, everyone interested in this right across the EMEA. We've got a large audience today, so it should be good. So the next 30 minutes, we'll be diving deep into that. So firstly, Jim, welcome.
Good morning, Wayne.
Yeah, good to see you. And thanks for coming along.
You're welcome.
I suppose we've already, as I said, got quite a lot of questions from the audience, and one of the things that I know is on everyone's mind is Extreme as a business have gone through quite a lot of change, lots of acquisitions. It's all been very interesting to watch, but I know that a lot of the questions we get from our audience is, what have Extreme actually acquired from Brocade? If you can talk us through that to begin with, that'd be great.
Great stuff. Well, firstly, thanks for inviting us today. It's really good to get an opportunity to speak to Westcon and your partners in your Salubia offices here in Crawley. It's a beautiful day in the UK. It's grim, it's grey, and it's drizzling as usual. But
it's a regular view. Don't worry.
It's great to be here. So thanks for that. Just to give you some context here, I've worked at Brocade previous to moving over to Extreme for the last 7 years. And I've got a great understanding of where the company is heading and the story behind the acquisition, which became quite complicated in the end. I'm sure if any of you guys out there in the partner community worked with Brocade before on Extreme, you might understand some of the complexities around that. And because it's so complex, I've got a visual here, which was probably best to share with you, to show you where potential opportunity might be for partners who are previously maybe Brocade partners moving to Extreme, or indeed existing Extreme partners, and how they can engage in the products we bought across, but also the opportunity in looking at some of the products that we have been splintered off into different organisations as well. So I guess the first thing to say is if you come across a customer, or you've got a customer today who has some Brocade kit, it could be a number of different technologies. First and foremost, the kind of background of Brocade was storage area networks. So it could be that your Brocade customer could be using fiber channel or SAN switches. The opportunity there, I guess, is that that's been a legacy technology. It's still very vibrant in the marketplace at the moment, but there's definitely a move towards IP storage, and we saw that in Brocade with OEM in their products into people like EMC. Into Fujitsu, into HDS. So that's a fantastic opportunity for people who are looking at customers who are moving from very expensive to buy, very expensive to maintain fiber channel technology into a more standardized IP network, IP storage base. So that's the first opportunity with potentially Brocade, SAN, now Broadcom customers. Broadcom have with the company acquired all of Brocade, but kept the fiber channel side of the business. The second kind of business unit that went as part of the acquisition was, the reason for this is the rest of it is all IP products, and because of the chip set products that Broadcom manufacture into the LAN switching marketplace, it was felt there's a conflict of interest there. So they sold off the business units that were operating inside Brocade as IP businesses. The first one was the data center switching, routing and analytics business unit, as it was called then, which is primarily the Brocade, now Extreme VDX, SLX, MLX, CER product line, which is pretty much focused around data center and routing in service providers. On top of that, there were a few software products that came across as well. Most importantly, the Workflow Composer, which is now moved over to Extreme as well. So that's a great place to be aware of. There's plenty of customers out in the field across EMEA, a massive customer base, certainly of VDX, and the new SLX product, which is designed purely for not necessarily hyperscale data centers, but also small opportunities. We'll go through some of the user cases towards the end of the presentation. Another business unit which sold off and split up was what was known as the wireless and campus edge business, which was primarily Ruckus and the ICX family of switches. And that, again, is a great opportunity for partners to target, because they're in what I would say a much worse place, because they have a very limited portfolio. When we look at what Extreme have bought and what's augmented their portfolio with the Brocade data center products, it's a really truly very solid end-to-end portfolio. In Ruckus, you've got a good wireless play and a limited switching background portfolio. So that's a great opportunity for us to go in and target those customers as well.
So from an Extreme or legacy customer base, so Extreme and Avaya partners, where would you say was the real opportunity for those partners to take advantage of? Is it verticals, solutions? We spoke about those 3 blocks being purchased. Yeah. Where would you say they could focus and really sort of reap the rewards of focusing in those areas?
So the great thing which I found when I've moved into Extreme is that, yes, we really did fulfill, that's which way I'm actually want to go the right way. So we did fill a gap in the Extreme portfolio, right? And not many people understand this. So it is a data center focused product line. And data center in our terms is switches that underpin applications in the data center. So very much around how we manage virtualization, very much around how we provide control and integration into different environments. It's not about really 100 gig speeds or multiple volume, although we have that. It's more about how we protect and underpin the assets of the business, which is the applications that generally run a business environment and create some revenue for them. So it's very much that as a focus on the data center products, and that fits very much within the portfolio that Extreme have now delivered, and the message is around places in the network. So very, very strong now in the access part of the portfolio. So with the Wing Wireless products, and which is bought from Zebra, previously Motorola. The automated campus product, which came in from Avaya, very, very strong in that area. And then the agile data center, which is a part that Brocade add to that. And then overlying that is the Extreme Management Center, XMC, which is a fantastically feature-rich management and analytics program with lots of APIs and integration into any particular technology you want to see. So it's a great fit for the Extreme portfolio going forward. More importantly, I think, as you can see from here, opens up any vertical that you're operating in. So, traditionally, Extreme has been very strong in campus networks, especially large-scale campus, like education, for example, yeah. higher education. Yeah. But now we've got a much broader portfolio, very much, if you're looking at wireless access, very much into retail, very much into transportation and logistics. And then when you look at the portfolio of the Brocade data center products, then we're opening up service provider, cloud service provider, and large enterprise data centers. So very much a great opportunity for customers to operate in any vertical they choose.
It's true, actually. I mean, it's a overused cliche, but that jigsaw puzzle, as you say, you really have come in as an acquisition for Extreme, and that missing part of the jigsaw and extended the breadth and depth of the portfolio. Yeah. Which is great to see, particularly as we're selling it on a daily basis as well, which is good. Yeah. I suppose one of the key things, though, is that as a partner that's watching this and seeing all the great technology and all the great solutions that are being created, what are Extreme doing, and how can you help partners become more competent?
So I guess one of the excuse me for flicking through these slides. I think this is a pertinent slide. So this slide was shown to me when I first joined Extreme 3 months ago, and the numbers are very, very different. So if you look on the left-hand side, 3,000 plus employees worldwide. 3 months ago, that was 1,400. Okay. So one of the key messages here is that not only did Extreme buy a portfolio in a data center. They brought over a massive amount of expertise from Brocade. 844 people moved from Brocade to Extreme. So all the technical expertise, the product management teams, the development teams, the sales teams, the support teams, all of them came over from Brocade into Extreme. So it's a very important message to make. Equally, you can see that the revenues have shot through the roof as well. They've doubled. So Brocade also brought over almost $300 million worth of revenue, annualized revenue into the business as well. So that means that much more cash sloshing about in the business. It also meant that the market capitalization went up massively.
Yeah.
We went from $2 to almost 15. It's come down a little bit since then. But what that means is there's much more cash in the company. It means we can expand, invest, and grow the business from both from an acquisition point of view and a generic point of view as well.
I can already hear partners sort of saying, "Oh, extra cash, that means more marketing." And actually, that's one of the questions that one of the partners has loved. I'll come back to at the end.
Okay.
I know one of the key things, and I know our guys here often are looking for their silver bullets. So from a Brocade Extreme, when they're competing against those competitors, I suppose, who are those big competitors, and what are the silver bullets that partners can use to really give them that competitive edge when competing?
Okay, let me have another look at a slide here. So I guess the key messages from the Brocade Center portfolio is what Extreme have bought is a product that brings a lot of automation into the data center. So the first things first, in understanding this, the VDX platform that has been in the marketplace for 7 years, it's been very successful. It's still very, very current in the marketplace today, and it's still being developed. That product had a huge amount of investment put into it at Brocade, and they created an automated data center fabric. So when you built your data center, the configuration just happened, right? You didn't have to spend hours and hours configuring the network. You just plug two switches together, it will automatically configure itself. You need more bandwidth, you plug switches together with your cables, it automatically configure the system. Amazing piece of technology, right? So this is a VDX platform in the middle here. It's very, very current. We then added into the portfolio the SLX platform, very much again similar technology, but aimed at a standards-based fabric technology for a layer 3 environment, as opposed to VDX, which has a layer 3 capability, what is more layer 2 technology. So that again is very, very, very much aimed at any data center. So cloud service provider, it could be an enterprise data center, it could be a CSP, it could be some hosted, whatever you want it to be. It scales from very small up to very, very large. The difference with this product, it doesn't have inbuilt automation. So one of the products we've also brought across is the Workflow Composer, which is a open source platform that we acquired from Stackstorm, which is more of a DevOps inspired kind of GUI based interface or cross-domain automation tool to help manage and automate the whole of a data center from cradle to grave, whether it's network, whether it's storage, whether it's compute, whether it's virtualization. So these are great platforms that we brought across, and these are some of the areas that we can certainly help where customers understand and lead in their marketplace. These are products that are currently competing head to head, a much more functional and feature-rich environment than people like Arista and Juniper and Cisco, and with some other tools that we have, such as the automation tool, again cross-domain, helping to deliver services across different functions in the data center. I guess one other massive silver bullet that came across very recently from Brocade was the network subscription offering, which was a disruptive financial kind of model that was derived at Brocade, which meant that people could buy their data center or network and pay for it as they would in the cloud service. So it's a monthly subscription service. There's no real limitation what you can do with that. It has a very flexible terms and conditions in that you can end that contract after 60 days, very much like a cloud provider would be. There's no penalties. You can scale it up or scale it down, but again, that overlays over the top of your infrastructure. You can deliver anything right under that platform, and that is very, very key in the data center for us today. Allows us and our partners to compete against, the big hyperscale cloud providers like AWS, for example.
It's interesting, actually, and it's a question that we've had already from one of the audience about subscription models. Yeah. So I'll ask it now because we're talking about it. One of the challenges a lot of partners face when going from what historically has been a CapEx purchase and moving that to a subscription model is actually just the loss of cash, if you like, in the business, because they're elongating that out. Is there anything that Brocade are doing or anything Extreme are doing to help partners make that transition? I know we, as a distribution partner, we're helping people transact. And what would you say for any partner that has a fear of moving to a subscription model away from that CapEx?
Okay, this is a massive advantage for Extreme, and one of the reasons they wanted to buy that portfolio from Brocade. And interestingly enough, the whole book, which is a recurring revenue of $20 million a quarter, Brocade has come over to Extreme. So it helps with the cash flow of that business as well. Okay, so from a partner's point of view, I've worked in the channel for many of my years in my career, and you want to get paid on a deal. You want that money up front, like you would with a lease or another finance offering out there. So we quickly realised that to wait for 3 years to get that full revenue recognised is not really great. So not many people are going to be incentivised to do that. So the Extreme Network subscription model will operate in exactly the same way that you would operate with a finance agreement backed by a bank. Okay, so when you sign that agreement, the full amount of that deal is passed to the customer, to the partner through distribution channel. So you would get paid that full amount on day one, even if the customer then return that kit in 60 days, which is the minimum term of that contract. So all the risk is on Extreme. It means you get the best of both worlds. The partners get the best of both worlds, and there's absolutely no risk in that. Only held by Extreme Networks.
I think that, to be honest, I think that's a great silver bullet, to be fair, because we're seeing it across the piece with a lot of vendors where that's the bit they don't often look at as far as how's this affecting the cash flow of the partner. It might be really good for the end user, because it's what the end user wants.
And for the vendor.
And for the vendor, but it doesn't actually address their cash flow. So that is a great silver bullet. So moving on, if I was speaking to the legacy Brocade end users, of which there are plenty out there, what are the key highlights that you would point out there as far as to give them confidence that their network is in safe hands?
Okay, so again, if we again consider the slide I showed before, a lot of the products have been brought across. 844 people have come across from Brocade. The commitment is there within the product set. Okay, so the VDX platform, the SLX platform, even the MLX, which has got a very large legacy footprint in the marketplace, they've all been given a 2-year roadmap within Extreme. That's even longer than we had when we was at Brocade, right? So that to me is an indication that Extreme have bought into this technology piece and the full on, right? So there's in our opinion, it is the products out there are very safe. A lot of our competitors are questioning that. Ex-colleagues at Ruckus definitely pushing that FUD out there, but the technology is there. It's current. It's real. It's supporting IP fabric technology going forward. It's very much where the marketplace is going. So that I'm very, very confident that we're all good on that front. In terms of the how we can support our customers, again, in the UK, we've got 4 commercial people come over. Across Europe, it's more like EMEA. It's more about 60 in terms of the SD environment, the customer-facing SD environment. It's probably around 40 across EMEA, 4 in the UK. So in terms of the engagement with partners who don't understand the Brocade portfolio or the data center portfolio, we are available. There'll be some contact numbers at the back end of the presentation. Just call me. I'll get you plugged into one of those guys, whether it's a technical guy, whether it's a vertically aligned commercial guy. The people are there to help you understand, drive customer engagement, preference for Extreme, designs, pricing, all the things that you might not know at the moment. We're going to deliver that for you.
That's super. I mean, the other thing as well, actually, off the back of that, is one of the things that we've heard from partners and questions they've had and concerns, I suppose, because it's like anything when a company acquires another company and they're used to dealing with that business in a certain way.
Yeah.
One of the questions you have is about the Brocade service program, which I know has been well thought after.
Yeah. And
what's happening with that from a partner perspective?
Okay, so if you're an existing Brocade partner, clearly Brocade doesn't exist anymore, so that the plan is to move everyone onto the Extreme partnership program. So the first thing to do is make sure that's in place. Once you've got that in place, then clearly you can buy any of the Extreme support offerings, right, which includes ExtremeWorks, PartnerWorks. Very, very similar, if not better, than what we had at Brocade. So in Brocade, we had BDS, Brocade Direct Support, and we had Service Delivery Partner. So Service Delivery Partner is exactly the same as PartnerWorks, and Brocade Direct Support is exactly the same as ExtremeWorks. So those are completely exactly the same. There was a new price list issued on the 1st of February, which now has different SKUs from the Brocade service price list, but the description and the scope is exactly the same. I might add to that is, Extreme are very, very strong on their sort of service offering. Gartner recognise them as being the best in the business at delivering service and support. So I think our partners and our customers will start to see and even an improvement in the service that we used to offer at Brocade. So I can't see there being a problem there. But again, if you have a problem with pricing or you want to look at existing customers that you might need some support, come back to me and we'll help you out.
Indeed, and also obviously don't forget you can contact your very friendly distribution account manager. It'll also help you as well. So moving on, the final sort of question piece that we have for today is we've seen an explosion in software-defined networking.
Yep.
That's kind of the buzzword that's going around the industry at the moment. I suppose a lot of the partners out there they're asking the same. What plans at the moment do Brocade have to utilise SD or software-defined networking in the data center?
Okay.
Can you talk a little bit around that?
I could talk a lot about SDN because Brocade were very, very, very strong in that area. So let me.
We might get switched off in 5 minutes.
That's fine, that's fine. Yeah. So SDN, it's quite funny if you look at the strapline at the top there. A bit of play on words there. Still don't know. Still does nothing. So when we were at Brocade, we were very we led the market in, or was trying to lead the market in being disruptive against people like Cisco in terms of delivering software networking solutions. Currently in the marketplace, you've got SD-WAN, which is really taking shape, and that is, it's a great technology that is moving forward and creating some great value for customers and partners. In the networking world, it hasn't really gone anywhere, right? So at Brocade, we introduced the first SDN controlling industry, delivering open flow into the network, providing kind of integration into OpenStack, but nothing really happened to that, right? It's very complicated, and no one really knew what you're going to get out of that technology. Yeah. I think and we learned a lot about that. We had products such as Viata Router, which is a NFV product, which is really taken up a lot with the hyperscalers, AWS and Azure. We had a great product, which was a virtual application delivery controller, a load balancer, which again is very suited to that environment. However, I think those products are still out in the marketplace with different vendors now. But what we've seen as a replacement, I think, for that kind of acronym SDN is automation. Okay, so automation is everywhere. It's not just in networking, it's not just in infrastructure, it's across everything you talk about. All right. We acquired a company called Stackstorm when we was at Brocade, and that now has come across to Extreme. So automation is as I mentioned it before, it's a cross-domain piece of software that people program, they create workflows to deal with problems that might occur in network. It's all very much open source, open standards, API driven. So what we're seeing in the software networking space is API driven technology. So everything is very open. Everything can talk to everything else. If you've got an API of another product or another technology, then bingo, it's going to be very easy to integrate into. So that is the course of direction for that piece of technology. Overlying that, you have the Extreme Management Center, which again, very, very strong on APIs. So any technology you might have out there, whether it's, an IPAM solution, whether it's, integration into a different technology, the Extreme Management Center will allow you to do that. So it's very much a change in terms of approach from still does nothing, SDN, to automation and open APIs that is going to deliver the value to customers. From partner perspective, this is a marketplace where we're moving people from traditional CLI networking, if you like, and interfaces into the world of DevOps, where you're looking at languages such as Puppet, Python, Ansible, those kind of things. And there's the opportunity for the customers and for partners to develop your own in-house DevOps skills, deliver or create some packages that you can use to deliver value to your end user customers that are differentiated from anyone else. So it's the same technology, all open source, all open standard, all supported by Extreme, but you can create your own little bundles to deliver out to your customers.
So any partner that's standing out there at the moment and fearing SD networking shouldn't actually just engage with us, and we should be able to help them navigate certainly through that automated way. And actually it's a differential and a benefit that adds scale and growth to any kind of opportunity.
Absolutely right. And the benefit that we have as being networking people is, DevOps guys might be able to create a nice interface or a nice application, but they don't understand TCP, right? So if you have a young lad comes out of uni, he's great at programming, he knows nothing about how the internet works and can easily break it, right? So if we're developing our skills as networking experts with an overlay of DevOps skills, your value as technical networking people is going to grow, and that's going to be recognised by your customers as well.
So listen, thank you very much so far, Jim. Really, really insightful, really great. I've been asking some of the questions we've had from our partners already as we've been going along the time. There's just one question that keeps popping up, and it's usually it's one close to my heart as well, in marketing, is so from a partner point of view, a partner sitting there at the moment, they've seen all these great technical solutions. What are the next steps, would you say, for a partner if they need to engage with you? What marketing is available as far as, not funding, but marketing assets and collateral? Is there a place they can go? What advice would you give for them from that point of view to start the marketing process? Okay, so there is, clearly there's a big marketing program and a partner program in Extreme, which has its own teams that manage this across the different regions. So that's in place. We can provide information around how you would engage with that team, which you get yourself registered as a partner. Clearly, there's some hurdles to jump before you start getting NDF funds, potentially, the amount of money you spend, the amount of accreditations you get involved with. However, what I'd like to say is, certainly in my team and the way that we go about things, we have our own, and across Extreme, we have our own marketing funds available to attend events, to run marketing campaigns, to drive kind of preference towards Extreme. We can work with partners side by side, distribution partners, business partners, for you to take alongside those marketing activities without any investment from yourselves, just some investment in that you're committed to work with us as a team, and we're going forward with those activities. So yes, the official route which we can help you with, so get back in touch with me and I'll explain how we do that. But also talk to me about anything you want to get involved with, and we can involve my team about how we can get something off the ground really quickly. Otherwise, the process takes some time, right? Excellent, always does. Listen, from the audience and myself, thank you very much. Thank you for your time today.
Appreciate it.
It's been great. And obviously, thank you very much as well for joining us this morning. One question really, what are we waiting for? If you obviously have a desire, you have a need, and you want to know more, obviously, about the opportunities Extreme offer, and certainly with the Brocade differentiation, then please do give us a call, and we'll be happy to help you through. But until next time in session, thank you very much.